Hey everyone, this is Vickriman and welcome back to Let's Play Tyranny. And we actually reloaded the game, so the guy we purchased for our base spawned in. I've got a Beastman cub in here. I doubt that very much. I didn't mean anything by it, I promise. I just wanted to see how many rings you had so I could adjust my prices accordingly. Rebos, at your service. I've come into possession of some items that might be of interest. He's stolen? That was very dishonest of you. I'll take a look at your wares, but don't try that again. Are these stolen? No, in the sense that they aren't stolen, but yes, in the sense that I'm not entirely licensed. So, among other things, Kairos' laws of quota and sharing meticulously regulates tradable goods. Permits are issued to deserving merchants on an annual basis, but their allowances circulate by a design known only to Kairos and Tunon. A former wool peddler may be restricted to selling only copper, and the subsequent year trade fresh vegetables. But wait. Before you throw me into Tunon's dungeon or worse, consider this. We aren't standing on Terratus. We're standing high above any citizen who is subject to the Overlord's law. And this place couldn't possibly be subject to the same rules that govern down there. Okay, let's see what he has to sell. Basically, it's upgraded Fatebinder armor, which is our starting stuff. We don't have to use it, but this stuff is quite a bit better than the starting gear. And of course, it comes in all the different flavors. With the light armor, leather, light armor cloth, and heavy armor. So let me take a look here. Yeah, so this leather is probably what we're interested in. But we are wearing the assassin's raiment. Is there a way to compare? Light armor, leather. +1 armor, +1% deflection, but 15% to critical damage multiplier. That's pretty awesome. So I think we do probably want to see about upgrading our boots and our gloves, because those are not particularly good how we have them. Yep, this is quite a bit better. And it was this one, wasn't it? These are actually superior quality. There are tiers, of course, and they basically follow the same sort of World of Warcraft color scheme, with some alteration, because we have fine here. No outline is going to be just normal. This is fine, and this is superior. And I believe there is also a purple and like a gold for like legendary. So let's see about boots. Yeah, that should be much better. Of particular interest is the improved recovery speed. That'll be quite good. Now, is there anything we don't need? Probably so. I don't think we need that. Iron Greatsword. Get rid of these. And sure. That reduces our price pretty well. I don't think I need that. There's really no reason to keep this. Oh yes, we have this. This on weapon crit damage 5 to 8 period. Okay. Maybe we will. So this does some really nice stuff to your crits. Yeah, we're gonna use this instead, what we got from the battle there. Kind of forgot that we had it. And yeah, that really reduces our price. So we could buy some more of these guys. Phasing. Oh, interesting. We'll probably get some more of these guys as we go. So this stuff here can actually it starts here: alchemy, bronze ingots, iron ingots. There's also, I believe, steel ingots. No, probably not steel. Hide, scrolls. These are materials that we're going to be using on our base once we get the opportunity. That I'm just going to buy all of these because you can't have too many. And this guy will actually collect. He'll collect camping supplies for you, so you can resupply without buying them when you come back. So the base thing, I kind of did it before, didn't really explain what was going on. So we have the different spires, and then as we unlock them, we can build different upgrade buildings. There's like a blacksmith, a library, and all that kind of stuff. And then each of them have recruits that you can get, and they all do different things. A lot of them are skill trainers. But yeah, there's kind of a mix. So, yeah, we can spend money for that. We only have 50 rings, so we're probably gonna wait. Seeing as we're probably not gonna do much here right now. But that's how that goes. And then as we go, we have, you can actually see the items are placed in a separate category in the stash for Spire stuff. So you don't have to worry about necessarily selling things that you think will be used in the Spire, because those are going to be in a separate category. That makes it pretty easy to avoid that. So let's equip the stuff that we just got. Oh, I probably should have got the shield from this guy. Yep. I guess a shield is under a weapon, isn't it? Because it goes into the hand. Yeah, that's going to be a significant improvement for us. It's going to be worth the cost. It'd be kind of cool if there was some way to put it in multiple weapon slots. But I don't think...
On it.
I don't think that's possible. So let's go down, actually, because there was stuff that we needed to loot. Now, there isn't really anything else going on in this part. Everything is up on the spire, as far as your upgrades and things. So we're just coming down because there's loot that we haven't gotten. Sage's robe? Oh, how does this compare to what you've got? It's exactly the same. Exactly the same. Okay. Well, that's it. Okay, so now we can click here, and we got the whole world now, where we can go to different places. So we can go to Lethian's Crossing right now, or we can go to the Bastard City. Obviously, I promised him that I would come as soon as possible, so we're gonna go see the boss. So he'll obviously want a report from me being the authoritative source of what went on here at Vendrian's Well. So these folks are all like nobles and stuff. And you are from the Bastard City. This well-dressed older woman stands and looks at you, stands apart from the milling crowds. Oh, greetings, and Lucretius, formerly of Thistleholm. You have the look of someone who belongs here, a fate binder, no doubt. Do you need something from me? What are all these nobles doing? Trying to look brave, I warrant, but if you crane an ear to any of the conversations, you'll hear a different tale. 3 years since Tunon set up shop in the Bastard City, we're still getting used to our new masters and figuring out what we can and can't ask of them. These are smart, ring-a-plenty folk. The way they approach Tunon, you'd think they were raised under a tyrant's lash. Some have come to settle a grievance, others to pledge fealty. I've been standing around long enough to know that the adjudicator doesn't care for empty gestures. How has the Bastard City fared? The armies claim the city in a quieter, more organized manner than I might have expected. I can credit them that much, to be sure. Kairos' forces made short work of our local mages. Never proved the school of wild wrath, but at least they were ours to control. I'm not sure that the blood chanters I see on patrol are a better alternative. We've suffered our share of hardships, but it seems that Kairos wants us alive. That's a more generous outcome than some of us were led to believe. What are you doing here? Like the rest of the frightened inbreds here, I came to see Tunon and ask him to right a wrong. My manor was destroyed during the conquest. Told the adjudicator my woes, but we didn't exactly see eye to eye. What is Thistleholm? It was my family's ancestral hall. The oldest stones dated back to the years when the Bastard City was not but a dozen roofs and wagons clustering for warmth. Compared to the houses of the great lords, it was nothing special. Age had softened the wood, and its queer placement in the warehouse district set it apart from the finer grounds where lords and ladies strolled for amusement. It was a mess, but our mess all the same. I would invite you over for tea, something stronger even, but it would only disappoint. You'll find naught there but a gaping hole. What happened? Collateral damage happened. When the adjudicator cast his judgment on the Bastard City, he destroyed the districts of the corrupt merchant kings, their manors, their counting houses, and yes, their warehouses. Aged, dignified Thistleholm collapsed as a massive sinkhole opened under her foundation. The Bastard City's laws may not have been perfect by Kairos' standards, but my family followed them with respect. Never took a copper ring more than we deserved. I can't help but feel that my estate was not the criminal Tunon had in mind during his sentencing. So what are you going to do next? That's the question, isn't it? I appealed to the adjudicator, thinking he would see reason. After considering my case for all of 8 seconds, he awarded me a belt of rings and a plot of land on the outskirts of the city. Tunon told me to build anew and start farming. Farming, can you believe that? It's not even that I'm opposed to the labor, but we're in a war. I can't have the Scarlet Chorus breathing down my neck, raiding my crops, and Kairos knows what else. Let's see. Kairos' law, whether you think it's fair or not, Kairos' law are made to serve the masses, not the individual. Stop whining and take your rings. Justice is done. The Scarlet Chorus are dogs. I suggest you use those rings to higher protection. And isn't that the most backward cycle of ring trading I ever heard? But it casts a light on something I've been thinking while I stand here watching Tunon go about his business. I come from a long line of smart, ring-savvy merchants, but even I can't reconcile Tunon's justice with Kairos' law. There's something wrong about it all. Maybe Tunon knows something I don't, or maybe... Well, what do you mean? People come here for justice. They usually get a version of it, but it's Tunon's version, not theirs. Half the time, they don't even get what they wanted out of a ruling in their favor. The deed for a farm, for instance. Not to put my own ignorance on display, but if more people knew how Kairos' laws worked, they might not come here seeking a ruling at all, even a fair one. Tunon is a servant of the law, but he's the Overlord's vassal as much as any of us. Sometimes it seems like he uses his position to twist everything in the Empire's favor. We're just pieces on the board and can move us wherever the law justifies that we stand. That doesn't sound well legal. Tunon isn't one to change his mind. Unfair as it might seem, the ruling stands. Fascinating. Now, how much is my silence worth to you, ungrateful one? I can only endeavor to bring true justice to the tears. I had no thought to dispute the ruling, but I appreciate the kindness of your tone all the same. It's an uncommon thing to find in the bastard city these days. Farewell, Fatebinder. Be well. Hello.
You call yourselves officers of Kairos' army.
Tunon is
your
scary.
conduct falls short of my expectations. The court finds your accounts of Vendrian's well lacking, rife with misdirection and fallacy, fouled with baseless accusation.
Should we... It's probably not a great idea to interrupt this guy. Your Honor, I have relayed the events as I experienced them. You can well imagine why my version conflicts with his. On my honor and on that of the great general, I would sooner snap my sword than perjure myself before you, Archon. Oh, so you imply that falsehood comes easier to my lips than yours. You're a fool if you believe the Archon of Justice won't see through your lies because the disfavored think themselves better than an honest gang.
Silence. The contradictions in your statements will be examined, and falsities threshed from truths. If we find you have perjured yourselves, Blood and Mark will see to your fate.
Ooh.
Fatebinder, we will start with the matter of the Archons. Graven Ash and the Voices of Nerat have declared war upon each other. In addition to violating Kairos' peace, they have thrown the conquest of the Tears into disarray. By all accounts, these hostilities began
Yeah, I wasn't present.
after your arrival.
That seems
Tell us
impossible
what
to say.
transpired.
The Archons could not agree on who should lead the siege and descended into accusations of treason or treachery. It seemed a mutual spat. The Archons have been of different minds since the start of this war. Well, that is true.
Your perspective is appreciated, but the dispositions of the two Archons are already a matter of record. Loyal subjects of Kairos have drawn blood from each other, a cardinal crime. Something happened at Vendrian's well to trigger this feud.
There we go. The Disfavored were more deserving of the honor. Our tactics and training outmatched the Vendrian Guard at every turn. What balderdash! The Disfavored couldn't tip over a straw hut if they had a week to strategize. Our howling mob was better equipped to overwhelm the Vendrian Guard. Our recruits were ready to throw themselves at the enemy, if only Ash and his legion would agree to a plan.
The Fatebinder presents testimony. I warn you both against speaking out of turn. Something more than a mere disagreement unraveled this campaign. But I will return to that in time. Let us speak of Ascension Hall. The Disfavored sing your praises across the realm, though the Scarlet Chorus appeal for charges of treason. Perhaps you can offer a more enlightened account.
We did it with the
An
Disfavored.
efficient solution, the type I would expect from a capable agent. Tell me though, with the edict looming overhead and death the price of failure, why not employ the numerical advantage of the Scarlet Chorus? I will consider this testimony at length. The court thanks you for it. Your testimony is accepted by the court. The statements of our guests raise questions in my mind. There is much about this campaign that has caused me to wonder. A shipment of iron weapons was short on arrival. Where coveted iron is concerned, I don't believe it to be a clerical error. One of my agents recovered this seal in Echo Call. It belongs to a merchant collective. Lethian's Crossing is teeming with their kind. If you would root out treachery, I would advise starting there.
Okay.
Petitioners, leave us. I would have a private audience.
Whoa, he just totally disappeared. Alright, well. We shall
Will
go
do.
and talk to Mr. Tunon. I'd immolate you right where you stand if it weren't for Tunon breathing down our necks. Oh, I bet our formation is all screwed up here. Yep, we gotta redo it because we only have one melee fella right now. Although, maybe I could be just a hair further up than these two. Maybe we want to do something like that. Spread it out a bit. Yeah, that's pretty good.
This civil war, this feud, is an insult to Kairos' peace. It should not have taken the better part of a year to silence the last vestiges of the Oathbreakers. Our allies squabble
I agree.
while our enemies regroup. It falls upon the court to measure the extent of the damage, and to execute the agents of disorder. I suspect that treachery, negligence, disunity, and greed have infected one or both of our esteemed allies. Until you are instructed otherwise, this matter is the court's primary focus. Graven Ash and the voices of Nerat must be examined in close detail. You are charged with observing the Archons and presenting your case that one of them has wrought chaos and disorder upon the tiers.
What if I find them both blameless? Could they both be guilty? Could they both be guilty?
It's possible, but the momentum of the conquest up to this point suggests otherwise. The failure at Vendrian's Well implies a coordinated will behind the chaos. As always, you will be held accountable for what you do in the court's name. But you are free to conduct your investigation in the manner of your choosing. You must expect lies, misdirection, and manipulation. Suffer not such obstructions of justice. The disfavored seem the logical first step in your inquiry. The Legion holds you in some esteem. Graven Ash has shown deference to the court in times past. No doubt the disfavored will be rife with accusations and evidence against the voices of Nerat. Graven Ash is a noble man, but never underestimate his capacity for deception. A wise general succeeds by knowing when to be unreadable to the enemy.
Okay.
You should, of course, speak with the Scarlet Chorus and gather their testimony. But it stands to reason that most in the chorus would sooner brag about a pauldron fashioned from your skull than entertain your questions. Do not regret killing the rabble that impede your investigation. They will be easily replaced. I concur.
Yes.
Graven Ash has a reputation for
Soldiers
honor
love
and
him.
nobility, but nobody is above reproach. If he is guilty of treachery in some fashion, his loyal soldiers will not be the ones to betray him. But if anyone is conducting a symphony of lies, common sense would point to the voices of Nerat. Your fellow
You're probably right.
Fakebinders have been busy acting as my eyes and ears. I have a few leads for you to follow. You should, of course, speak with your brothers and sisters of the court if you need further counsel. Though the disfavored were triumphant in the Blade Grave, I understand that their troubles within the region are unfinished. Talk to the disfavored commanders serving in the Blade Grave. Perhaps they can shine some light on the origins of this feud. There is a final matter to discuss. A sensitive topic.
What is it?
In spite of the many shortcomings at Vendrian's Well, you managed to make a name for yourself. You proclaimed an Edict of Kairos, resolved its demanding conditions, and ascended the mountain spire. Any one of these feats would be worthy of recognition by the highest authority. You managed to accomplish 3.
I was only doing my job.
Your sense of obligation to your role is admirable, but modesty will not recommend you to the task ahead. Whether by design or by accident, you have captured the attention of Kairos' army and the local tiersmen alike. This is no small opportunity, and the court charges you with exploiting your new standing to its fullest potential. You have a title in our hierarchy. However, it's a little-known secret that one's standing in the world is determined by their infamy, their deeds, and how they come to be known. Mind this notion as you bring justice to this lawless frontier. There may come a time when your deeds speak for you louder than any title. If your killing spree in the bastard city is any indication, you are no stranger to spreading infamy already. Whatever you did to capture the attention of the masses at Vendrian's Well, I would encourage you to do so again.
Champion of Justice.
It falls to us to set a new standard for these southern barbarians. You are dismissed.
Whoa. Should
the court have need of your presence, you will receive word. Go forth and do my bidding, and bring glory and honor to the tiers in Kairos' name.
Used his gavel? Alright. Got it, boss. Let's go talk to the fellow Fatebinders who are actually standing right here. This is Rogalis. Fatebinder, you return. You look as if you have questions for me to untangle. I'm feeling generous. Can you tell me about the old walls and the Bane? What about the old walls? The only one old enough to guess is likely Kairos. Tell me about the Bane. The Bane are found in the old walls, but much of their defining qualities still escape me. They are creatures of smoke, claw, and fang. If you find yourself unfortunate enough to fight one, remember that spells are effective against them, but grab the attention of others lurking near. Oh. That's good to know. I actually didn't know that in my first playthrough. Tell me about some of the past Archons. No one is entirely sure how many Archons Kairos has killed, but I would guess it numbers several dozen or more based on the various histories I've been able to piece together. Where did you study? I've been a ward of the court for as long as I've been aware. As a child, I demonstrated wholly perfect recall and absorbed all the Tunon and my tutors had to offer. I remember hating all the lectures and wishing I could learn at my pace. Funny how I envied the sages of the tiers. How could they spend their whole lives reading and never exhaust their library? Of course, now the Vellum Citadel is nothing more than a burning waste. Sages. We'll not speak of the sages. They are no better than charlatans and cons, wholly selfish in their ill pursuit to hoard all knowledge from others. They are self-blinded by their own deceptions and clever manipulations. They alone cause their own undoing and are solely to blame for the burning library, one of the most grievous of wrongs in the known history, for which they can never be forgiven. Talk about some victim blaming. Alright, that's enough. What do you have to say? Vickriman, I see you've returned to the fold. Your exploits in Vineyard's Well are a matter of some discussion. Balance. What can I do for you? You seem to know much of my actions. Have you been spying on me? Don't act so surprised. It's my duty to ensure that those who operate under the Adjudicator's name adhere to the spirit of the law, if not the very letter. Of course, I've nothing to hide. So you say, but I have to weigh all evidence presented before me with an objective eye. Assume you are being watched, Fatebinder, but don't concern yourself. That's no more than any citizen of the Empire can expect. Yes, Big Brother. Rogalius traveled to the Vellum Citadel to secure the archives for our gracious overlord. The sages there proved more stubborn than we'd anticipated, so Rogalius was forced to proclaim Kairos' Edict of Fire, consuming the Citadel in a gulf of eternal flames. A sad affair. how have you occupied your time in the bastard city? Seen settlements here and there. I settle disputes between the locals when the adjudicator is otherwise occupied. Everything from trade agreements to pushing chorus squatters out of basements. Real rewarding work. The glory of war is not an honor reserved for the likes of us. We are the fish, swimming in Tunon's wake, picking up scraps along the way. We're rather large and imposing compared to the bottom feeders of the tiers, but fish all the same. I have some concerns. You're free to share them in my confidence. Cannot crush this. We are too lenient. Bloodshed and brutality reign supreme. Peace cannot follow such cruelty. Our armies squabble at each other's throats. Divided, we cannot win. Less concerned about the armies than the Archons themselves. There can be no order when mountains collide. Who would you see as champion? The disfavored. Our elite troops will bring us to victory. There's wisdom behind your reasoning. Wars are won through cunning, strategy, and strength. The disfavored are outmatched only in number on the battlefield. Considering their opposition, Ash and his soldiers more than make up the difference. Ah, Vickriman, you return unscathed and more acclaimed than ever, as seems to be your way. Come, we must regale me with all your journey has held. I could use a moment of respite between friends. Word has reached me regarding your negotiation tactics at Apex. I must admit, I'm impressed you made any headway with the southern wretches. If they are open to reason, it would seem they aren't as ignorant as the Archon of War would have us believe. Come, let us speak freely. Could you remind me of the history? I've claimed a spire at Vendrian's Well. So the court's whispers are true. Underside of his chin. Pondering his thoughts with great weight. Someday I would like to witness for myself this tower that has risen above the realms like a blade thrust into the sky. Okay, we're good. Alright, so... Wow. You're 2 levels ahead of her? That's insane, man. Alright, so Lantry leveling up. And then we're going to put a cut on the episode. I don't think we need this yet. We will, I think. So, yes. We could do that as a stance. Power Frost, and we'll slow enemies. That could be useful. But I think I like this because my main character uses throwing. So that's going to help him level up way quicker. So that makes a lot of sense. And it's lore, which will help her because she could certainly use some more. So that's that. So thanks for watching, everybody. There hasn't been a whole lot of action this episode, but we've sort of set ourselves up for the act ahead. Uh-oh. Welcome back, kid. Amusing as it would have been to watch the edict drop, I guess I'm glad you lived. It's the Archon of Shadows. Here you threw your rings on Graven Ash's side. Not a bad bet to pick the Archon of War. But tell me the truth, did you go with Ash because it seemed like the right thing to do? Because supporting the voices was a worse option? Neither Archon was at their best, but Graven Ash is the more capable warlord. Archon of the Elderly. It's the more capable warlord. We've gained favor with disfavored. Bled and Mark. We gained... The disfavored are nothing if not blindly devoted to their general, and though few in number, they are surprisingly difficult to kill. I don't have to like it to understand it. We both have our ways for turning the tides of war. All that matters is that the Edict of Execution was stayed. Those stationed at Vendrian's Well should be thanking you for their lives. True. Now I assume you're off to go meet with Ash. But first, you and I need to have a little chat. I'm listening. Everyone's keeping an eye on you because you did something nobody has done before. Got a guess as to what that might be? Proclaimed 2 edicts, and the first 2 resolved an edict before its consequences came to pass. I'm the first Fatebinder to awaken a spire of the old walls. You're not wrong. That was definitely a shock, but I doubt it's the sole reason you made the tears tremble. Proclaiming an edict isn't new, neither is surviving or resolving the commandments of an edict. But you're the first to proclaim and resolve the very same edict, and it didn't kill you. In one fell swoop, you survived your second edict, resolved the very one you had proclaimed, woke an arcane structure that had slept for several centuries. So why are you telling me this? Did I do something wrong? Short list of people who stand out as potential problems. More or less. Mostly more. I don't care what you do with the information, but you should know the danger you're in now that you've put yourself on the map. Sticking with disfavored is a smart idea, kid. At least smarter than getting mixed up with the Archon of Secrets. You'll never really be one of them, but if you value Ash's warriors, they'll serve you the best they can. Thanks for the advice. Ciao. Alright, well, we actually are going to end now. So thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next episode.